Today I'm fielding the question of how should you best warm up for micro workouts? And to that, I follow up with another question for you. Why even warm up at all? The way I see it, there's only 3 real good reasons why you should ever need to warm up at all. One of which applies, the other one doesn't really apply to micro workouts, and the other one shouldn't apply as much as we think it does. So the first reason to warm up is neural ramping up. Warming up your nervous system for heavy work. This is why weightlifters and powerlifters and stuff, they'll start with a lighter weight, ramp up to their working weight. So your nervous system needs to know that something heavy is coming. And if your micro workouts are heavy in nature, and they're gonna be working against a good amount of force, it's a good idea to start off with a lighter level. So incline push-ups before archer push-ups, or rows before pull-ups or something. Just feel it out a little bit. Just kind of go through the motions on a lighter variation. And when you're feeling like you're kind of getting in the groove, then you move on to the meat and potatoes of the workout. The other reason to warm up doesn't really apply to micro workouts that much. It's more of a metabolic ramping up, because the mitochondria in your cells take some time to be able to ramp up, kind of like a cold engine in a car. And if you're going to be doing physical activity that requires a good amount of energy output for a good amount of time, like my old mountain bike races, then yeah, you want to gradually get the body moving in order to get it ready for that. But of course, micro workouts, they're like 5 minutes long, 10 minutes long. They're not long enough to really require this sort of thing. So metabolic warm-ups are not really necessary for the most cases of micro workouts. And then the third reason is to, quote, loosen up. Loosening up is one of those things that I used to do a ton of. As a young martial artist, especially Taekwondo, we're known for our kicks, it would take me 30 minutes of stretching and mobility work, and we didn't have foam rolling back then, but I'm sure as hell I would have been doing a ton of it just to get to the point where I could comfortably loosen myself up and be able to kick to any degree of proficiency. Thankfully, nowadays, I don't do any of that stuff. I don't do any stretching, I don't do any mobility work, and I don't do any foam rolling. And the reason is because I'm not so much tight, it's because I believe in engaging in daily habits that keep you loose and action ready all the time. Now I do my daily little Taekwondo practice that I do. It's just something that I do to keep my skills sharp. I don't do any warm up at all. I just come right out kicking and swinging, and I'm like 85% proficiency, speed and power and height in my kicks, cold. Which is good, because if I ever get jumped in the street, I don't want to be like, hang on guys, I got to warm up and loosen up, right? Which really begs to question, like, why are we always warming up so much? Like, kids don't warm up before they go out and play recess, right? We used to climb monkey bars and do backflips and all these sorts of things on the jungle gym. We never warmed up for that. And it's something about being in a gym, too. I used to have a friend who used to warm up a lot before using the Stairmaster. But we would go hiking up steep mountain trails and he'd never warm up for that, even though it's the same basic physical activity. It was something about being in the gym that he needed the foam rolling and the stretching to prepare. Very curious about how we perceive things, but I digress. The bottom line is, be action ready. Loosen up and stay loose throughout the day. And it doesn't take much. You know, this exercise, I give the class behind the back. It basically pulls the chest apart here, and I'm using my back. The biggest reason why we're stiff isn't because we're not stretching, it's because we're not allowing tension to flow through the body. Stiffness is caused because energy is flowing into a part of our body and it's stopping, like our lower back. Nobody has a sore lower back because of a weak lower back. You have a sore lower back because the energy is going into your lower back and it's not able to flow through your lower back, which is why if you get your glutes, hamstrings, and your upper back engaged, the energy flows through your lower back and you don't have any more back pain. So we really want to look at, why are we ever stiff to begin with? Go after the cause of what's causing that energy to dam up and address it frequently throughout the day. That way, when it's time to throw down in your workouts, you're pretty much ready to rock and roll and you're not tight and stiff and need to loosen up. All right, I'm done talking. I'd love to hear your thoughts down below. Please send me questions and stuff. Again, many more micro workouts coming next week, including grind style micro workouts. All 4 phases of the grind style system in very simple 3 to 5 minute workouts that you can do at the drop of a hat. Talk to you then. Till then, be fit, live free.